The legends of lost islands, they just simply fascinate me a lot. Accidentally, I bumped upon this topic and I thought, how can a whole piece of land simply just disappear from the surface of the earth, leaving behind just some traces on the maps or some old documents? So here we are. I have picked up a couple of stories of islands that existed before, but now they're gone. The most popular story, I believe, is about the Atlantis. Of course, it's been covered by a lot of podcasters, YouTubers. This topic has been looked into by a lot of scientists, etc., etc., but I'm not gonna go there. You know that on my channel, I like to look into the topics that are not so much discussed or maybe not even known so well. So that's just the thing about my channel. And if you're here, you most probably do appreciate that. I guess that's also the reason why I do not get so many views and popularity, but you already know that I don't care. So I guess we should just start because I am so excited about this video. The first island I'm gonna talk about is called Frisland, also called Frisland, Friesland, Frieslanda, Frieslandia, and Fixiland. So this island, this phantom island, appeared virtually on all of the maps of North Atlantic during the time period of 1560s up to 1660s. Side note, do not confuse this island that I'm going to talk about with another island that's in the Netherlands, also called Friesland, and also there are two islands called Frisland in Germany, in the north and the east part. So this is not the story about those islands. Now, let's start from the beginning. So this island first appeared on a very influential and very much seriously taken map that was created in the 1558. And this was created by two Italian brothers from the Republic of Venice, the Zeno brothers, Antonio and Niccolo. So they created this map after their alleged trip to the North Atlantic and Atlantic waters, and this is what they came up with, and this was called Zeno map. Originally, Friesland or Friesland was the name how they called Iceland, but after the Zeno brothers' voyage, when they came back, this completely changed. So they claim that Friesland is actually a totally separate landmass that lays to the south of Iceland. And everyone afterwards placed Friesland on their maps as a separate island, and this happened throughout the following 100 years. For example, a famous Dutch cartographer, William Balleu, hope I pronounced it correctly, does not place the island on his Europe's map from the 1617. However, it appears on the map that was created by him in 1630, and he positions it as one of the islands off the coast of Labrador. This is not Iceland. Later in the year 1963, there was a man named Vincenzo Coronelli, and he actually places Friesland somewhat near to Greenland. And then in the 20th century, there was a guy named Frederick J. Paul. He's an author and he is famous for writing books exposing speculative and controversial historical theories of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact by Europeans, including the Vikings and others. So in his works, this author says that Friesland is actually Fair Island, in modern English, Fair Isle, and this is actually an island between the mainland of Shetland and Orkney Islands. Later on, the existence of this island actually became more of a myth because a lot of explorers from France, from England, started to chart and map the North Atlantic, and never throughout their journeys they bumped on this island that allegedly the Zeno brothers found many, many years ago. And so, starting from that moment, Friesland simply disappeared from the maps of the earth. But what was all of this? Can this be the case that Zeno brothers actually lied that they saw this island, or can we find a simple explanation of this island existing before and now disappearing in some natural circumstances? Some say that Zeno brothers simply bumped into Iceland itself. However, Iceland was already been discovered by that time, and I think an experienced explorer that makes maps would understand the difference between a small island and something larger like Iceland. And there is this theory, to which I kind of believe the most, that Zeno brothers are actually a big hoaxers, and they are the biggest hoaxers of the field ever. Some scientists argue, and there are some signs, that these brothers actually were in some other places during the time when they were supposed to be on their exploration trip, making notes and making maps. And Zeno brothers, I mean, when I started to look into them, these guys, I think they just like to talk without any evidence. Honestly, they even claim that the New World was actually found by the representatives of the Republic of Venice before Columbus. I mean, they just like to talk and make big claims to draw attention. Many scholars actually believe that all of the maps that were created by Zeno brothers, it's just simply BS, since you can actually find more than just one Phantom Island on those maps. So Frisland is not the only one there. Nevertheless, Zeno brothers stood by their opinion and they said that they found Frisland. And they went even further, saying that they even spent some time on this island. So who do you believe? Let me know your opinion. Do you believe that this island might have existed, or you believe that this was simply a hoax? Oh, by the way, I actually found some sources saying that Jules Verne's Mysterious Island was actually based on this story on Frisland. I don't know if it's true, but it's kind of exciting. Okay, now that we have warmed up, let's jump into one really, really crazy story about a place called Hy-Brasil. Immediately telling you that this island has no relation to the country Brazil, okay? Now we have established this, and I think I'm gonna just switch on my smart-ass mood and tell you Brazil, the country in the South America, was named Ilha de Vela Cruz, Island of the True Cross, and later Terra de Santa Cruz, Land of the Holy Cross. And it was done by Portuguese navigators who arrived there, and only later it became Brazil as we know it now. This happened when they discovered Brazil wood and started to export it. This story not related to the country in South America, okay? Now, back to the island. Sometimes called Brazil, Hy-Brasil, also other names. This Phantom Island is allegedly placed in the Atlantic Ocean to the west of Ireland. And get this island can be seen on different maps from as far as 1325 up to, wait for it, 19th century, so a really long period. It also appeared on the Catalan Atlas in 1375. In the 15th century, it also appeared as Insula de Brasil in the Venetian map, and so on. Also, famous and recognized Ottoman cartographer Piri Reis, in his map created in 1513, includes the island and places it off the west coast of Ireland. Okay, before we move on, we have to look into the name itself, because I know what you're thinking. Why would somebody nearby Ireland even think about naming an island in the name of Brazil? It cannot be related. Well, I think I'm gonna switch on my smartass mode again and tell you this. It's very much related. It is believed that the usage of the name Brasil in this context has links to Irish tradition, as Irish Hy-Brasil means descendants of clan of Brasil, and this is one of the oldest clans of northeastern Ireland. So Uy means island and Bres, beauty, worth, great and mighty. On the maps, the island is showed in a circular shape, having a strait or a river running from the east to west across its diameter. But the thing is that nobody has actually been there and nobody has actually seen it. But still, it still appeared on the maps, laying just southwest of Galloway Bay. By the 1865, it was already called Brazil Rock. How it is possible? I mean, I know what you're thinking. What happened there? What is happening there? Let's just try and figure out. During the 14th century, multiple voyages and expeditions have been made to find this island, to prove that it exists, but all of the people that were on these expeditions, they came back empty-handed. Or if there were at least a couple of them saying that they saw the island and then they stepped on the island, they never had like a solid proof that they had brought back from this island. So basically, nobody could prove that it existed, or they couldn't just simply find it at all. For example, several expeditions were made from Bristol in 1480 and 1481 by a navigator and explorer called John Cabot. He was inspired by the widespread rumor that allegedly earlier some Bristol merchants had seen the island, so he wanted to find it too. After several months of sailing in the sea, he returned back empty-handed, saying that he didn't saw anything. A little bit later, 2 more ships went out from Bristol that year, also the same goal to find Hy-Brasil, and again they came back with nothing. But as I already mentioned, there were some success stories saying that they actually saw the island. So, couple of centuries after these Bristol expeditions took place, a Scottish captain, his name was John Nisbet, arrives back from his journey saying, "Yes, I saw it with my own eyes, it was there." This John guy, he went on telling that the crew actually managed to stay for the whole day on this Hy-Brasil island, and he described what he saw there. And let me tell you this, you gotta be like, very surprised. So he said that the island is very much inhabited by a large black rabbit. Then there is also a magician living on this island, and he lives basically by himself on a huge stone castle, and that this magician gave to the whole of the crew some gold and silver coins. This really sounds somewhat like Alice in Wonderland, John. This really sounds like you might be tripping. Maybe you were smoking something. I don't know, but rabbits? Magician? But later on, another guy, he was a captain, Alexander Johnson, went off to his own voyage to see this Hy-Brasil and see if John, that I mentioned before, the Scottish captain, was right by telling that the island actually exists and, you know, the rabbits and the magician stuff. You won't believe it. Alexander here, he comes back and he said, yes, John was right. Rabbits, magician, gold, silver, it's all true. Mind-blowing, I know, yes, but this is not it. So, as I said, the island stayed on the maps until the 19th century, but this is not because our friends here, John and Alexander, went on this trip and came back with the stories with rabbits and magicians. There were more guys. For example, 2 other gents, Robert O'Flaherty and T.J. Westrop, they also went to Hy-Brasil, allegedly in the 1872, and they also find it. This guy, Westrop, that I mentioned, he actually went on telling a little bit more. So his story goes as follows. He said that he also, the same as our John and Alexander, he stepped on the island and spent a couple of days there. And he was simply mesmerized by the beauty of it, to an extent that he even later on brought his family there to visit. And then he said that when he left the island, still on the ship, looking at it, admiring from afar, this island disappeared like this in front of his eyes. I'm so confused right now. I think I need a drink. It's water. Don't worry. I cannot open it. Okay. Okay, I'm done. But as you all know, Hy-Brasil later on gradually started to disappear from the maps, and that was basically because after these guys that I just mentioned nobody exactly found the island anymore. Meanwhile, since nobody after those guys have not seen it or stepped on it, this has become a very well-known and popular Irish myth and legend. And as the legend goes, this island is always blanketed in a very thick fog, and therefore it cannot be spotted with the naked eye from the mainland or high seas. Only on one day in 7 years, the fog clears and it is possible to see the island for a short period of time. And even then, nobody can actually reach it. Nobody can step on it. Some say that Hy-Brasil is actually the home of gods of the Irish folklore. Some say that this island is actually inhabited by some really highly advanced civilizations, that there are some priests living there who hold some really ancient and very valuable knowledge, and all of them simply live on this paradise island. And actually, I recently saw an interview with well-known Graham Hancock, you know, the man who is a fan of ancient civilizations and whom I admire a lot. I have listened a lot from him. And even he said that Hy-Brasil might have been a home for an ancient civilization. And he continued saying that there has been some research on the seabed that showed that many, many years ago, actually on this place, there might have been a real island, so this story might have been true. So this could also be a place for an ancient civilization, which is very exciting. And also some of the people say that yes, this island existed and actually disappeared in the same time when the Atlantis did. So it was like a whole wave throughout the planet Earth, where all of these like ancient civilizations, they just disappeared at one moment, which is even more exciting. But I don't think that this has something to do with huge rabbits and magicians. Definitely not. All right, we know where is this going now, like very, very, very deep with ancient civilizations. But is there like any additional scientific proof that we can add to this, like that would show literally that there is a chance that there was an island and disappeared, and how it disappeared? I mean, if there are some signs down there in the waterbed that there might have been island before, so what happened? Some meteorologists assume that this island might be also an optical illusion. They have found that during certain special climatic conditions, mirages appear at the sea when layers of hot and cold air refract or bend light rays. This may create the illusion of an island appearing and disappearing. And at the end, of course, there is the last explanation. This island simply didn't exist, and all of this was just a myth that they created to draw some attention. Like those guys, after seeing that so many people failed to find this island because it didn't exist, they decided, okay, let's make a fuss about it and become famous. So let's tell a story that we were there, invent all those rabbits and stuff, and everyone's gonna believe us. But the thing is that these guys never brought any like silver or gold coins that they said they were given. They never brought back any like examples of plants, or they didn't bring back any huge black rabbits that they were chasing there. And also, they didn't have smartphones, they didn't film or photograph anything. So there is no evidence. And if you're saying that there were multiple guys saying that they stepped on the island, well, I look at this like this. So the first guy who thought, I'm gonna tell that I was on the island, Mr. John here, okay? He came back, got famous, and the other ones were like, wow, see, it worked. He said that he went there. Maybe we can also do that. And then Alexander came and the other guys came, and like this went on like, can I say viral? Yeah, not in that context, but you got me. So I don't think that the fact that multiple guys said that they were there, it cannot be trusted, in my opinion. But in general, I do not discard the fact of the ancient civilization, since I'm a kind of huge fan of that theory. I don't believe the guys who said they were there. I think they're liars. And yeah, just need to know your opinion. Do you believe that this island existed, and do you believe that it can appear again, and what happened there? Write down in comments. So I think it will be enough for today, like 2 islands, 2 crazy stories. I need to know what you're thinking about that. I'm gonna put a full stop here, and I'm gonna return back with another video with another island, and that one, OMG. This is like crazy thing. It even involves CIA, allegedly. So please stay tuned. Remind you to subscribe to the channel, follow my community tab, because I'm posting there updates about the videos, like the topics. Sometimes I'm asking you questions, not because I don't have anything to do, I'm just curious to know your opinions. So that being said, enjoy your day, press those likes, again, comment. Suggest my videos to other people, because as always, I'm struggling with the views. I don't care, but still, I mean, to get my channel going somewhere, I need more of the feedback. I need more subscribers. So yeah, I think I should shut up. I'm in a very good mood today. Yeah, because summer is here, so I'm loving it. It's getting hot in here. Okay, so see you next time.